Deion Sanders, another social type, number one. That's what's so funny about the guy. And I just took a best guess of his type. I'm guessing he's another one of these ESTP sleep lasts, right? You know, how could he not be? Super athletic, smart, handsome. You know, he's a star football player from back in the day. So now he coaches college football. But what's interesting is not only, so let's get a good laugh at the social type number ones and how, lazy and horrible the rest of us are compared to these number ones. They're just fucking dominating. There's a lot of inspiration. There really, really is. If you really kind of... if you really look, you come back from a church high, you remember that you go to church camp when you're a kid or whatever, or you have some, conversion, you're I'm going to really change my life, or you're listening to some kick-ass music and you get in that high energy state, I'm going to do something with my life, right? And then it just, of course, just goes away. But it seems to be the number ones kind of live in that steady state.
Are you the change agent? Are you the ultimate change agent?
I make a difference. I truly make a difference. I make folks nervous, man. I get folks moving in their seat. I get folks twirling their thumbs. I get them thinking and second guessing themselves. Have you ever been so clean that you walked in and somebody looked down at you, then they looked at themselves, they had to check themselves because you were so clean? I have that effect.
That's the vibe you're getting.
No, I have that effect. That was some good game right there, but God, that was good.
See, they walk with so much power and confidence. Now he's kind of also laughing at himself. He's like, I know, I sound ridiculous, but this is how he feels. Imagine feeling in that state. Do you know the rest of us, and the twos, they're actually very, very far from number ones. You'd think the ones and twos are right next to each other. Turns out they're not. Turns out the ones and threes are closer to each other. That's how I see it. That's how I see it from my subjective point of view. I feel like it's the one and the threes and the two and the fours. I feel much more connected and related to the fours than I do any other type, right? Now, I'll have the responsibility in common with I got to get a lot of shit done. Right? There's that. But the demon flex, you know what I mean? The demon ego, they're I don't want to be the baddest motherfucker around the world. I don't want to be C.T. Fletcher. I don't want to be walking around saying I'm so good. But I'm seeing, if you're kind of creating a story and a worldview of life, you're only going to get so far that you're going to need that deck of cards to pass this next bridge in life, So it's funny. It's what the number ones have always been saying for thousands of years. Is their deal is I'm going to be such a badass that I'm an inspiration to all you idiots, all the little people. I'm going to inspiration to you. And I'm I'm kind of offended by that, and you guys kind of seem like arrogant jerks. But then as you get to a place in your life where you need that kind of flex and push, you're okay, wait a minute, what the hell are you guys doing?
It was his first win as coach of a Power 5 school, the highest level of college football.
Do you feel like you were underestimated? You come here and I don't know if Coach Prime can win. You must have heard what some of these other coaches were saying, both secretly and out loud.
That's fear.
Fear.
Yeah, that's fear. That's hey, man, shoot, we don't want to let that engine that could get going, because if that engine that could get going, he's going to start saying, I think I can. And sooner or later, he's going to start saying, I know I can. Then sooner or later, he's going to start saying, I did that.
Let me jump down to his type. Okay, so just look at his smile. So it's he's got the number one drive, but then what little coins is he using? So he's able to kind of sense the fear and talk about the fear. I love how the FE does that. The FE just can casually, like TE, just talk about the emotions of the tribe. I have the hardest time doing that because my FI is I'm looking at the tribe like this when it comes to emotions, and it's hard for me to...
You told most of these guys, the more you jump in, the more room you're going to make. Those of you we don't run off, we're going to try to make you quit.
Yeah.
You made it very clear.
Yeah. Now, if you went for that, if you were able to let words run you off, you ain't for us, because we're old school staff. We coach hard. We coach tough. We're disciplinarians. So if you're allowing verbiage to run you off because you don't feel secure with your ability, you ain't for us.
If some kid said, you know what, no, I'm staying. You're not going to run me off with your words.
Right.
So is this scorched earth policy good for college football or for the kids?
I think truth is good for kids. We're so busy lying, we don't even recognize the truth no more in society. We want everybody to feel good. That's not the way life is. Now, it is my job to make sure I have what we need to win. That makes a lot of people feel good. Winning does.
Winning does. There's so much there. You might go over that clip again because everything he's saying is the damn truth. You might not like it. You might not think that way, but everything he's saying is the damn truth. So the results is what he's going after, the goals. So this is I do this all day long. All motherfucking day long. All day long I'm doing exactly that. Oh, I could run you off with wordage? Oh, I can run you off with a fucking email? Oh, I can run you off with this and that. All fucking day long, that's all I'm doing. It's just straight fucking trolling people because I know, same as him, it's hey, I got a big non-movable over here called the fucking business, the mission, the ops code. You got to get that down to 512. There's a lot of precision here. And if you're a non-movable ass and this is non-movable, then these two aren't going to work. So this is not going to move. So you have to move. And so I'll see people come and they're I'm a non-movable ass. I'm yeah, I can see that. And so I'll be yeah, sorry, and I'll scare them off with some language. They'll be oh, okay. And they'll just wander off. I'm thank God. Because that same type of person, this is what he says, the military guys, they all know, if you can be moved, if you can run away, if you can quit, if you cannot conquer adversity, then here, let me just throw you one and get this over with. because he knows the opposite is true for himself. It's the identity. He knows that he's going to be a star coach, football player, not because it worked out and he stumbled into it and this and that. He knows he's got to set his identity and go, okay, no matter what. Because the number ones, they live a life of being told no 24/7 for decades. And the rest of us, we get told once or twice no. We're like, oh, that's what I thought. And we just walk away.
My kids that play for me, they didn't choose a university. They chose me. That's the difference.
Coaches have chosen to join Sanders as well. The staff he overhauled and upgraded includes former head coaches and former coordinators from schools like Alabama.
Now that you're a Power 5 guy, who's the best coach in college football today?
Let me see a mirror so I can look at it.
I feel that.
What, you think I'm going to sit up here and tell you somebody else? Game ball, Peggy.
And damn if he hasn't made it fun.
Give me my theme music.